Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to be testing out a Retribution fit for T1 Electric Abyss. This is a very basic Retribution fit that is very cheap. You can see here 51 million ISK. I'm trying to make something that can sort of take out the T1 Abyss as quick as possible. I have been using a lot of Beam Retribution for the T1 Abyss, but I want to try a Pulse one with some slight modifications to see if it can maybe be a bit more efficient than the Beam one. The reason I thought about this is because when I do the T1 Electric Abyss in a Beam Retribution, I often notice that I have a little bit of problem with tracking at times. Like, not all the time, especially if you position yourself really well, you have very good tracking. But sometimes when you have a lot of frigate waves and these kind of stuff, you can maybe get a lot of grazing or glancing shots that are not so powerful. And that's where pulses come in. They're really good because they've got good tracking, so they'll be tracking quite a bit better than the beams. The thing is though that the beams, they have really good range, and the pulses, they have really bad range. So you're going to take a long time for you to, or it's going to take a bit of time for you to get in range to be able to do full DPS. That's why we're trying to complement a bit here. The pulses, they have good tracking, okay? And then we're trying to increase the range a little bit. So we've got the Locus coordinator right here that gives us a little bit of a range increase. We could actually, in fact, perhaps add even more modules, but I've got a bit of tank right here. Small armor repair, multispectrum coating, and a reactive armor hardener just to get some extra tank. But the tracking will be really good. The range will be also quite decent. It's still not great, but it'll be better than nothing, or like no module at all. The one option I was thinking was, instead of this reactive armor hardener, I could maybe have put like a tracking enhancer. That could be an option, so that I could just use that to just like blast away the enemies. But the reactive armor hardener is a very powerful module, so don't underestimate that. But otherwise, that's something I could try. Even put the tracking enhancer. I just feel like it might be too much of a glass cannon if we go without the reactive armor hardener right here. Otherwise, this could be something we could use to be even stronger right here. Tracking enhancer right there. The pulses also, they have the Scorch, which has good DPS. Even at like decent range, like 20 kilometers, something like that. And then another thing is that compared to my Beam Retribution, we've got two heat sinks, like the Beam Retribution I use, but I've also got a burst Aerator right here, so a rig that increases our damage as well. So we've got 425 DPS with Conflag, so it's no joke. And we're not using any implants or any boosters or anything of the like. So we'll go in here. I've actually got some loot from previous sites I've been running. I actually used this very same Retribution previously for T2 Electrics. Just was trying out some fits with a similar fit like we're doing now, but I modified it slightly. Okay, I'm going here. To be honest, I think we might be able to get by without the reactive armor hardener, but we're just going with it just for safety measures right here. I want to see how it feels. It's like these right here are waves where I feel like the pulses will do us a lot of justice. Because of how we've got the good tracking, we're going to be able to blast these guys to oblivion right here. So we can just approach these guys, keep at 5,000 meters, and then just go to conflag, and then popped, and then approach, and then pop, 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 pop. Come on, poppy. Need the popcorn maker right here, like that Kikimora I've got. Okay, like we just blast them to pieces like this. It's like no challenge at all. Just really go crazy with the MWD. You're super fast. Yeah, so I mean, look, and we've also got a tracking bonus as well, so it's even better. So 400 DPS, that's applied really well. Get some good shots right here. Yeah, that looks decent, that looks decent. And get some more pulses in. Okay, good, we've already completed the first wave. How long was that? A minute. That was pretty fast right there. The good thing about the T1s is that the T2s, it's nice if you're able to do them as a frigate, but I actually in some ways prefer the T1s, because oh, did you see that loot right there? Raging Gamma, wow, 12 million. Oh, that's uncommon for me to see a T4 filament in T1. But the T2s, they don't give, like, they give about 12 million ISK run, and T1s give about 5 million ISK run or 6 million ISK run, so like half the ISK. But I find like T2s, they take almost twice the time to do, sometimes even more, depending on what waves you can get. But they take quite a bit longer to do than the T1s, and they feel like they're a lot easier, the T1s. So it may as well go for these. You earn maybe a little bit less ISK or a little bit more ISK depending on your speed, and you're still earning about the same ISK but risking a lot less, it feels. So I like the T1s in that regard, but T2s are obviously a lot more challenging, feel a lot more satisfying to do. But in some ways, I prefer the T1s just for the ease or the convenience. Okay, loot, 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 loot. Okay, good. Conflag over here. Conflagration. I'm just gonna approach these guys. Could maybe keep it range 5,000 like this, so we can just keep it range like this. You see some good shots. Like that penetrating shot, like look at that, no mercy right there. Boom. There we go. Done. 17 minutes, or almost 2.5 minutes. And then we've got an MWD, so we got super fast, just straight into the next room. And this is a very cheap ship as well, nothing too expensive either. Let's go to the next room right here. Ephialtes. We'll go for the Watchman first, because he is a bit of a more dangerous wave. We'll go for the loot first. Looty loot. This is not as good on a character who doesn't have so good skills, because you're going to have really bad range then, and you'll feel like you have to just really be completely in the face of someone to be able to do any significant damage, because we've got very short range, but we're still able to keep some distance, like 5 kilometers, without ending up with tracking issues or anything of the like. So I feel like if you have bad skills, this will feel very cumbersome, and it might be just better to go with beams. I feel like you'll get lots of grazing shots, etc. We've got the reactive armor hardener spooling up right here. You know, some good tank indeed. No issue whatsoever. What's our capacity at? 3 gigajoules to spare. And just absolutely slapping these T1s. T1s absolutely slapped. Just face attacking this Watchman guy over here. Getting smashing hits. And there we go. We completed T1 in 4 minutes. That was really fast right there. Do we have any more we should do? This feels very satisfying to do, actually. Okay, we only have 2, so we're going to have to go back to Jita and find some. Filament cost is also negligible. And if we look here. Calm electric. 8k ISK per filament, so like nothing really. But that was nice to see. A gamma filament, okay. Dock up here in Jita. We also need to repair this because I overheated this at one point. See now. 489. I feel like it's nice to have this reactive armor hardener, because it will be obviously better with that tracking enhancer, but it's good to have a bit of like a... It feels good to me to have some form of tank. Like you've got a bit of a backup just in case. I don't think you would be really challenged. Like we saw there, we were just face tanking that Watchman guy at 0 meters a second. But it could always be good to have just a little bit extra tank if you... Just the worst comes worst, you know. Let's go sell our dank loot right here. It's calm electrical. We don't need to sell these. There we go. Got some of that raging gamma. It's really nice to see a rare drop. It's a very long time since I've got a T4 filament from a T1 abyss, and especially the good type as well, because I mean, may as well just be like a calm or raging firestorm. 200k ISK, nothing really is what it's worth. Let's see now. Calm electric. 8k ISK. Let's just get just a quick 1,000 of them, you know. Just a quick 1,000. No biggie, no biggie. Gonna put these in my filament box right here. Let's undock and get back to business. Turbo Retribution is what I call this. The Turbo Retri. It could be an option to put like an assault damage control. Definitely it would be something to use, because I mean, if you had to somehow get ganked, it would increase your survivability as well, and you would also have a big buffer, because that's one good thing about the reactive armor hardener, is it gives you a bit of a buffer. 7.4k EHP. You could put like an assault damage control. EFA compact, and then you get, without this, 7.7. So you get a bit more buffer that way, but obviously like less HP per second. But this could be good if you were to get abyssal ganked, so this would definitely be an option. But the reactive armor hardener is going to give you a lot more tank in the abyss. So, oh, look at that. Even the price of our ship is even less when I remove that loot, because it was, remember before we saw it was 50 million, but that's because we had a bunch of cargo. Now it's a lot less because we've got all this, all that loot unloaded. So it's a very cheap retribution, this right here. Let's go T1 electric. We did it in the outside of G2. That maybe it was not the smartest idea, because people can gank you. Like that's actually, oh, a loaded deep watcher T1. I forgot they can actually spawn in T1. But back in the day, I used to actually run sites outside of G2 station just really closely, because It was just like, oh, okay, I guess I could just unlock here and do it. It's very convenient. But I never even, like, the concept of abyssal gankers didn't even cross my mind. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess I can get ganked when I finally got ganked for the first time. Like here, as well, it would be nice to get a bit of beams because we could still do a bit of damage here. Okay, grab this. Approach the deep watcher. Approach. And but that's the good thing about MWT is that we get really close real quick. Switch to conflagration and orbit at 2500, and we can set velocity to low so that we don't like overshot too much. Something like that, you know. Can increase speed maybe a little bit. Orbit 2500. Yeah, that's good. So we've got some good DPS right here. Oh, we're bumpity bumping. I think penetrating shots is really nice to see. Come on, I'm trying to orbit. It just wants to bump into this transfer conduit. It's quite frustrating when you see that going on. But the DPS we've got is actually pretty significant. That if someone tried to gank us, we might be able to just blast them down with overheated DPS and try to kill them. But I mean, we still not the most amount of tank we've got, even though 6.9 or 7k EHP outside. I still think a destroyer could pretty easily kill us, but I mean we're in a really dirt cheap ship, so it's no big deal, at all. Because I could be 2,400, but it's no point because we're just gonna get less of these good shots. We're just gonna be going so fast that our turrets won't be able to track as good. Even though we've got really good tracking, it's still more optimal when we're going a bit slower. Okay, it's more likely that we can get like penetrating shots. Like, see the 600 damage, like it's more damage than just a standard hit shot. So how quick did we do this in 2 minutes? It's very slow here. Loose deep watch. Ugh. These guys are very slow. Little frigate right here has to take out this lucid deep watcher by himself. Let's go to this transfer conduit over here. Oof, so many penetrating shots after another because we've got so good tracking. That's the beauty of tracking right there. Increase to max velocity. Let's go. Oh, we did that in 3 minutes. What? Or 2.5 minutes. That was very slow. Scorch, Lucifer, Cinnabal. Let's blast him to pieces. This guy right here. Okay, let's get in range. This guy is gonna hurt actually because he does a lot of damage. Conflagration. Oh, he's going very fast. Look at that. Need to get a bit closer. Come on now, get closer. We're going very fast, it feels like. Oh, it doesn't feel like we're tracking that. Okay, now we're tracking good, okay. He's got some newts as well. But the thing is, look, we've got so much damage, we're just beating him up so quick that it's alright. But Cinnabal is actually quite deadly, he can do a lot of damage. I think we weren't doing so much damage in the beginning because we were going so fast because of we got webified by this guy, right? Oh, that guy right there. So that's when we started doing more damage, it felt like. Also, when his shield goes down, we do a lot more damage because of the angels having more shield HP. Scorch, get a little tap right there. And grab this cash right here. Simple. How quick was that? That was like 1.5 minutes, something like that. Grab the loot. Next room. Let's go. I wonder if you could use a Gamma for T1 Abyss. I'm sure you could use a Gamma. I think it would be quite cool to use a Gamma. I think the ship looks really cool. I just started thinking about that because we were cruising so fast, and Gamma ships they're really fast. It felt like, oh, I'm a elite PvP right here. We're going really fast. But it could be an option in some type of Abyss sites. Thing is, with it, you want to have the good buffer. You know, the Gamma it's got such a big buffer, I think. Let's go into here. It's cash. And we can brawl them up close with the conflagration. There we go. Come on. Full speed ahead with the MWD. Let's go. Conflag time. And keep it range just to improve tracking a little bit. Don't want to have too many grazing shots like we had right there. Let's go and start with the conflag over here. And beat him up. I think a rocket gun might be an option in T1 Darks because you can just like really blast them to pieces with the high DPS, or maybe not even Darks, just anything really. You'd have really good DPS with rockets with a Gamma. But Gammas, I think they're quite expensive after those changes to recipes. Gamma. Has some old fits, abyssal garments from before. Yeah, look at that, 97 million. Oh, it's nice to see some retribution right here being quite cheap at 40 million ISK. Ooh, done. This is a bit of a long sight right there, 5.5 minutes, because of that lucid deep watch wave would not be nice. But we would have been even longer if we had gone with, I think we would be even longer if we had gone with retribution with beams. Oh, see that? Concords over there. I mean, some ganks have maybe been occurring. It's good that we didn't get ganked. Okay, let's see now. Calm, electrical filament. Do we have any more we can run? It's very satisfying to run these super fast. Feel like such an elite pilot. Just cruising around, beaming people to death with the pulses. Activate, activate, activate. Switch to the conflag or Scorch. And oh, Charybdis Tyrannos, let's go. We go to the cache. Lock these guys up. Now this time right here, you see this small time we're spending right here, this is like dead time. It's not going towards any increase in DPS. Now we're doing DPS, but we could have done DPS if we had beams, used an Aurora crystal, damage straight away. Pop this, go towards the cache right there. Oh, now he's going out of range. And we go and grab this loot. 1.1 million. Go towards Charybdis Tyrannos. I think Charybdis tends to be a bit closer in the T1. It's just me. I feel like Charybdis is like usually a bit closer to us in the T1. I feel like in the higher tiers they tend to keep a bit like be spawned further out. It could just be my imagination because the thing is in lower tiers like T1s, T2s, I often use these frigates. I don't bother using them in cruisers. So I'm usually flying something very speedy in the lower tiers. If you're in a speedy ship, you'll be able to get close to Charybdis very quickly. I think that's why maybe it feels like Charybdis is very close to us in the lower tiers. Yeah, that's probably the reason right there. Okay, let's go to the transfer conduit very soon, 1.5 minutes. Come on now. Charybdis, go down. Reduce my speed there just to improve tracking a bit. Let's go. Full speed ahead. Put Scorch as the initial ammunition type. Let's go. What have we got here? Transfer conduit, blast needled, easy peasy, easy peasy. We just take out this cache. We can also take out these rogue drones in the way here. A bit of flyby shooting right here. We can go with the conflag now. And open this up. We got T3 filament right there. I think that's why it was worth a little bit of ISK. I think we got 3 million from that one right there. PS Gamma, oh, that's the best T3 filament you can get. Now we take a bit of damage when the rogue drones get close to us, but it's not like it matters because we've already destroyed like half of them by the time we get here because of how powerful this Retribution is. Retribution is super strong. Super strong. Come on, keep range now. Why is he not keeping range? Full speed, please. Full speed. There we go. Okay. Pulse away, pulse away. We can even go to the transfer conduit to be honest, so we just get in range of it straight away. Increase our velocity because we'll be just destroying that guy just like that on our way there. Next room, let's go. Where's the time at? 3 minutes. Average 1.5 minutes per room. Origin conduit, devoted hunter. Oh, these guys can do a lot of damage, so we need to be a little bit careful. Hunters, I think they do the most amount of damage. Let's just face dive in, see if we can tank them. I've actually not tested this fit against these guys, so it'll be a good DPS test or tank test. I think this will show us why the using like a tracking enhancer won't be the best out of ideas, just because of how these guys do a lot of damage. Okay, we're gonna get the reactive armor hardener spooling up, so that'll be a good thing. Come on now, take out that devoted hunter right there. See, look at that. You see our armor is like a half now. It's quite scary to see so much damage being taken. But we do get more tank over time because of our reactive armor hardener. Devoted trapper. Oh, we can't even shoot him because of our MWD being turned off. But we destroyed him. This shows that it was good that we went with the reactive armor hardener, because I think we would have gone quite deeply into structure or even died if we had not used the reactive armor hardener right here. And it's really good just in general because, I mean, it reacts to the damage types. So you get very like specific damage types. You get more EM resist than we otherwise would have had. But those little frigates, they do a lot of damage. Okay, let's go. Origin Conduit. Devoted Devoted Knight, the cruiser, Sandra Cruiser. We're going to want to orbit with Scorch. The reason we don't want to get too close, he has newts. If he newts us out, we're dead in the water. We can't do anything if we're neuted. I think it's going to be hard for them to newt us out because, I mean, we're using the electrical side, so it improves our capacitor, but still, we don't want to get risk getting neuted out because if we get neuted out, we can't shoot. And if we can't shoot, we're going to die. We won't be able to shoot at all. Our pulse lasers do use a significant amount of capacitor. It's not like a missiles that don't use any capacitor. Like, look, so minus 7.5 without these on, minus 2.5 with them on. It's like 5 gigajoules are being used just for our Scorch guns. And it'll be even more if we're using Conflag. So I just may as well use Scorch range and kite at Scorch range, to be honest. So you know how much is cap we got from those two sides? 9 million. Okay, okay. Some ISKs, some ISK right there. And we can sell this dank loot right here. Oh, we got ripped off a little bit. But this would be a nice alternative to a Retribution that I'm using for that T0 to T6 Abyss series. The thing is, I feel like with low skills, the pulses, they won't feel as nice because you won't have that good range. But it could be an alternative, definitely could be an alternative. And especially also we're quite borderline on the tank. So with low tank skills, we won't be either as bricky, we won't be as meaty. That's why we're able to get by with just a few amount of modules right here, because we're not able to fit like a second armor pair, unfortunately, like the beam one I've got. But that's it. Very satisfying, blitzing through the Tier 1 electrics. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.